think about, when you think about, hopefully there's enough, hopefully you can still see me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did have, if I can catch up on some things, we did, when I went back out to the swamp with Tom, what actually happened was Betty purposely did not go out there. Beata and I went out there, went out with Tom. He was trying to do his work.
I even told them I did not want them going out there.
Yeah, so we went out there and went back to my house, and the following day something touched me on the back of my legs from the rear when I was in my bathroom. It felt cold. It felt cold, and it felt hairy, to be honest with you. And it was on, like I said, on the back, touched both legs. I immediately went to pull down to pet my dog. Although it didn't feel like my dog, but my reaction was to reach down and pet my dog and say hi. And there was no dog there. And I immediately turned around, spun around backwards. The Obi wasn't there. And I left the bathroom, as I was washing my hands. I left the bathroom, went looking for my dog right away. And he was sound asleep on his dog bed. So that's it. There's no other animals that live in our house. And I got touched. And it really, it kind of shook me a little bit. And so we all had internal discussions. We all had internal discussions about just kind of pulling back a little bit and just letting it rest. But I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Some more things have happened. And Beata had like killing nerve pain that was bothering her, and that went on for like weeks and weeks with her, and it got to the point where she felt like she was having potentially maybe a heart attack. So I took her to the hospital. I said, I don't want you to die, because she said, I felt like I'm dying. And she was all numb. Felt it in her hand all the way down to her foot. She was numb on her left side of her body. And we checked her all out. They did scans. They did everything. They didn't find anything.
I asked you two not to go out into the woods with the Tom, and y'all did. I was the only one that did not go.
Yeah, but but the weird thing is that Beata had pains going on the left side of her bodies, and she was feeling numb and everything. And that went on for weeks. This immense numbness going on in the left side of her body. Our son John comes home. He's only at our house maybe a day, and he gets the same pain. He's like incapacitated. He can't get around. It's in his rear area in his back, and he starts having this excruciating pain. I'm like, well, you're too young to have this kind of pain. You must have just pulled something. Knowing that I wasn't putting anything together at that point. And then I come down with this stuff that I got right now, and it's like a sciatic nerve pain, and I've never had this type of pain before. It's to the point, it's so painful to the point, it's getting better now, that I feel like I have a bit of paralysis in my left foot. And I can't flex my foot just right. So we came up here to go to the mountains to do some Bigfooting, but I can't ruck it right now. I can't walk quickly. I can only do a slow.
The strange thing about it
I'm walking like an old person right now.
I am the only one that I don't have any pain, but I did not go out with them that particular day when they went with Tom. I was the only one that chose not to go back out in the swamp. And that's where we're like, is this just coincidence? Or is something going on? Because I'm the only one that didn't go out, and I don't have any kind of pain.
Yeah, I was at work, and then I come tell Beata that I can't I can't move. There's something wrong in my back. And like I said, I've never had that pain before, but hopefully I'll get past that. It's just odd that 3 people in my household came down with very similar conditions, just one after the next. So, moving along.
Hey everybody, we are in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it's roughly around 59 degrees, so it's really good weather. And we decided to come up here. There's various reasons why we come up here. One of them is to just honor my dad's memory. And the second is, Chris knows some areas that there's been rumored to be activity. I have never been up here to see the area, so we've decided to go ahead and try to put our feelers out to see what we know in the areas. If anybody else has seen anything, Chris is going to show me some areas. What's the name of the one particular area, Beata? Do you know?
No, we're not going to say the names.
Okay, so we're not. All right, so we're not going to say the name of the place, but we're going to try to do that maybe tomorrow, and we're just going to start a new chapter in the trail to Bigfoot and see where it takes us. We're not sure about the swamp. We're still very unsettled.
All right, so what brings us up to the Blue Ridge Mountains other than some little bit of rest and relaxation and
There's a couple of reasons.
and getting pumpkins for Betty?
Yeah, big pumpkins.
She's gonna have me go. She's gonna go pumpkin shopping. I mean, I'm not talking about pumpkins. I'm talking about Jabba the Hutt pumpkins, huge pumpkins. And I'm not gonna lift them for you.
No, you don't have to.
Okay, so while we're up here, some things have been on my mind. I have always loved the outdoors. I love the outdoors, and the mountains is an area that I have really wanted to take more time in, and pursuing what I can find in the mountains. Unfortunately, I do not live in the mountains, but that's one of the things on the list that I want to do. Is I want to look around and potentially acquire some property up here, right up next to the National Forest area. I have been wanting to have like a private expedition for years now up in this region of the mountains. I think it is a very good area to explore. I would like to take a private group of people up here. All that information would be put out whenever I think everything is kind of going there. People's schedules are starting to meet. I'll inquire with some people that I know and throw out some potential, hey, heads up type notices, and then we'll send out some invites. Point of the matter is it would be primitive, and we would come up in the mountains, and you go Bigfooting up here. They've had some pretty good stuff, and when I mean some people that I know, they've had interesting stuff up here, even at close range, and rocks throwing and everything like that. And it's a very, very squiggly part, and it just goes on for miles and miles. And it's one of these areas to where when you scream, probably no one's going to be able to hear you. And so that's the areas that I like going to. So hopefully, if everything goes well tomorrow, that's what we want to maybe check out,
Check it out
and see what it's like, where exactly grid coordinates, where to go, what the lay of the land kind of sort of is. I want to kind of do a little quick survey. I can't get around that easy. I got this god awful sciatic nerve pain right now. So I cannot go Bigfooting at the moment.
We had every intentions on going Bigfooting,
Yeah,
but
I can't walk right.
Yeah.
I kind of have my left foot isn't right. So
It's time. It's time for us to scope out some new areas.
yeah.
The swamp, I don't know. Like I said, it's undecided.
And I don't know. I don't know if I'm entirely. I don't know if I'm entirely done with the swamp. I mean, I'm sure I'll go back out a few times, but it's not going to be. It just won't be the same. You know, it's not going to be the same. So I have to accept that. I have to realize and move on. But it doesn't mean there isn't good, interesting things going on. I had this one person that contacted me, and I might ask him if he's willing to talk about it and record it or not, but he did something very interesting, and he texted me a little bit what happened. I'm going to find out what happened. It involves seeing some lights in places there shouldn't have been anybody out there. So that's got me kind of excited. And
well, to the point where he said he probably won't ever do something like that.
Yeah,
ever again.
and they
It was very bold of him to do.
It was a bold move. Maybe it paid off. And I think he had said something like, "Swamp gas doesn't show up on a FLIR."
Yeah.
Something like that. I think
Yeah.
he mentioned something, the phrase is something like that. Swamp gas doesn't show up on the FLIR, and I'm like, okay, I need it.
And he was in the dead of the swamp.
Yeah, he was surrounded by swamp and stuff and water, and he did a bold move, and so I'm interested to hear what that move was what the details of all that was about.
It's very brave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Brave or what's the word I would use?
it's a ballsy move. I'll
Yes.
say that. It's a ballsy move because you can.
There's so much
You
stuff
could
that
have
can
got.
happen to you in
You
a
can
swamp.
get gator bit. You can get
Snake bit.
snagged by a gator. You can be water moccasin bit,
Yep.
and then who's going to get you out of there?
Yep, because where he was,
All right.
it would have been difficult to get
Yeah.
out.
So this might be an interesting story. Hopefully, I can get it. Maybe get some. I'll ask him if he wants to share it, and then if I can share it, I will. Then that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, we're going to try to start doing some more videos of some of the stuff that we're going to do. We just had to have some downtime a little bit, and we're going to try to
we had some family.
We had some family issues,
Yeah.
some personal stuff, and we had to take time for that, and just kind of restructure the trail to Bigfoot.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. I mean,
Personally, and I want to say
You
this
know.
to you, and I've mentioned it to you once, I would really like to go back to the beginning where you and I first saw the Bigfoot when we were kids. That's what I would like to
I'm not
do.
beyond going there, but I don't think I've ever been there.
We haven't
ever.
been back.
I don't think I've ever been back there since.
No, we never talked about it ever again.
And I think it's actually private property now. So I don't know if we can get back up in there no more.
I'd be willing to take a chance.
Because the area was in a,
Orange Grove.
yeah, but it was a cut. It was Orange Grove, and then it was kind of an open field. Adjacent to the open field was swamp, and there was bananas.
Banana trees all
Yeah,
down.
there was bananas in the swamp, and
The line.
that was the reason why we were going back there. Our dad knew there was bananas in the swamp because he used to work some of the groves back in, I want to say back in probably the early 1950s.
Yeah, he was a teenager.
When he was a young guy, he used to work in the groves, and he knew there was banana trees growing back there. So that's why we were back there, and that's when Betty saw it, you know,
And we all saw it.
turn around, and she was getting very animated, But yeah, I turned around and I was able to see across the field too. But yeah, she suggested maybe even going back there, and I'm like, oh, it's private property. I don't know if we can. I think it's private property.
I would like to try.
Maybe we can see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something on the things to do
'Cause
list.
that's kind of where it all started. And it's just strange that we never discussed it as kids. Once we seen it, we never spoke about it ever again. And our dad never even spoke about it ever again. And he knew that we had seen something. It was like 5 kids, and he was with us. So we were too afraid, I guess. But I'd like to go back and just see if we can see the area. So, okay, what do you want?
All right, so in the last few months, has anything weird happened at your house?
Nothing.
Well, so you're good.
I'm good. I did not go out with you two that day with Tom.
Yeah.
So nothing has happened ever again.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that I was told there's a guy that's in Haines City, and I'm not going to mention his name, who knows a lot about the history of the Green Swamp. And when my son went to him and was discussing with this gentleman some of the things that we were experiencing, he told my son they don't need to be going back out there again. That the Green Swamp is basically cursed. That he felt, and he knows me, he felt that it wasn't a good idea to ever step foot back in that area that we were at. And to be honest with you, it's really
creepy.
It's really been trying on us as a team, you know, to try to. It's not that we're chicken. I mean, some of the viewers will call us Freddy cats, but
when stuff starts following you home.
yes, and okay, I'll just say it this: the gentleman knew history of Polk County, and he knows history about the Indians, and according to him, the Indians had cursed the whole area of the Green Swamp, and it's not a good curse; it's a bad curse. So to have that brought to me, that knowledge, that information brought to me, it makes you really think. Is it worth it? You know, what do you do? So anyway, so this gentleman, I respect everything he has to say.
Are you gonna burn up over there?
It's pretty warm.
I'm gonna lock you up.
Don't light me up, baby.
He's stoking the fire. We're gonna burn down the whole. We're gonna burn down the whole forest.
This gentleman, I respect everything that he says because he is very knowledgeable about history of Polk County and really Central Florida, the Green Swamp too.
Go.
And when he told my son this, because my son went to him and told him what was going on, and that's when he told my son the story behind the Indians cursing the land, and it had something to do with because they were being ran off of their land by settlers. So long story short, you know, you have to kind of start asking yourself what's real and what's not real. You know, what's true and what's not true. So we just kind of stepped back a little bit, and we just wanted to really think about how we wanted to proceed with our team. We don't want to stop it. We are too addicted, is the word, I guess. I mean, what would you say? He and I know that we saw something as children, and we know it's real. So we don't want to stop our research or investigating of it. So we got to figure out a different way to do it. It'd be easy.
Check this out. That's that strong, powerful flashlight. Check it out. It's a pretty nice setup.
Is that the one Amazon sent you?
That's the one we did a review in the swamp with.
Yeah.
That's the
Is that-
2000. That's the 2,000 lumen flashlight.
That's the one you and I did at the swamp?
Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty
Pretty
bright.
cool. Shows you where we are. Shows you the cabin back there.
Like I can film this all.
See the cabin. Pretty neat. Cabin in the woods. Yeah, so just put the light on so we can maybe can see us a little bit better. Hopefully we're not boring everybody with this discussion right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we're not Bigfooting, and normally the channel's always had a focus. The channel's always had pretty much a focus of actually filming, only filming pretty much while you're out doing stuff. And so we're not actually doing stuff at the moment. We're just getting you caught up. You know, so where was it? So Betty was saying, you know, is the swamp got a cursing? I've never heard of such. I've never heard anything like it before. What kind of, if there are cursings in the swamp? I've never heard anything like that before. I've had hunters say it's haunted. I have had people tell me they've seen lights in the swamp. They've seen unexplainable things of lights in the swamp.
All kinds of activity.
All kind of interesting things to see in the swamp.
Well, if you think about it, Chris,
And there's actually stuff in the swamp also that would involve like witchcraft.
Yes, but if you think about it, some of our videos where we hear laughter,
Yeah.
you know, we've heard women laughing, we've
Yeah.
heard children laughing, and you know, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it.
So, you know, you look at it like, you know, you look at it, you put it all together, and you say, well, it's extremely paranormal as you know, all get out. Very paranormal as all get out. You know, and you're like, you know, when Mark came out with he did the interview and everything, you know, I was reading through some of the comments, and, you know, it was just this and this and the other thing. But the bottom line is that we have found footprints in that area before, you know, and so we've had it all in that area.
We've had everything.
We've had it all in that area before, to where you can say it's ghost. A typical person could say, oh, it's spirits walking around out there. We've had footprints found out there before, and you know, you would say, oh no, this is Bigfoot activity going. We've had everything in that area out there in the swamp, and that's just the truth.
Yet.
That's just the truth of it. I don't know if I really should continue. If we should really continue going to that one area, I don't know. I don't want crap following me home, man.
Yeah.
I just don't.
To have an open discussion about this without being people criticizing so badly.
What happened? You know, what happened to Mark didn't happen in our area.
No.
I want to make that very clear. It did not happen in our area that we normally go to.
Even though we cannot
It
say
doesn't.
it did not happen in the area where we go, but we were told that it attached itself to us or to Mark, because we were also experiencing things at each other's houses that we did not know was happening.
Yeah, so, you know, Mark is, so far Mark is doing as good as he can, as good as he's doing well, and so Mark's going to be, you know, moving on. Mark's going to be moving on with his life, and, you know, he's going to be...
Oh, he's much better.
Yeah.
He is much better, and
Yeah.
this is
So-
Mark's decision. This
Yeah.
is not ours. I would love to have Mark back.
Yeah.
But you have to think about Mark's health, and that's just the way it is. This is what Mark wants. So we're going to try to restructure ourselves into a different phase, I guess. We're just not real sure. We don't want to give it up. Do you want to give it up?
I'm not ready. If you guys are not ready.
I'm not ready to give it up. My husband has been out with us a few times.
I think there's a lot of work that can be done. I just think we probably need to adjust some of the strategies and some of the tactics, maybe the locations. I would love to maybe spend probably a little bit less time in the swamp. The swamp, bottom line, the swamp is ruthlessly inhospitable.
It's brutal.
Bad. It's people say, why are you not out there at nighttime? Why are you not? because you can get snake bit out there at night. It's not an area, especially where we go.
First of all, we can't be out there at night.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
You brought up a good point.
We're not allowed to be out there at night.
I would say something about, no. And if you do certain things in the swamp gets burnt down. Okay? They find out about it. They're not stupid. They watch our channel.
Oh,
And
it's a controlled burn.
They will burn the swamp down when certain things happen. Some of this stuff is scheduled, and I think some of it is not. Because I can say that based upon what I personally know.
What we've seen and what
Yeah.
we've been told.
Yeah. So there's repercussions. There's repercussions. You can't just show everything from what we do, because the land in which we normally go on is government-owned land. You have to make sure that you keep your welcome.
Yeah.
You know, you have to
Yeah.
make sure you keep your welcome. That, you know, because if they get angry with you, you're going to be done.
Yeah, they won't let you back on, and they have that right.
A game warden can simply say, "You're up to no good, blah blah blah. We don't want to see you out here no more." They issue you a citation for whatever rule they pull out of their book they can,
Yep.
and you're done. You're not going back in there no more. Because if you go back in there, and you get caught, and I have ran into
Yes, we have.
game people out there before.
Yes, we have, and it's been at night.
And I know they try to follow us because I've captured some stuff on my audio recorders. So I know they actively watch the channel, and they're watching us. You should wave to them. But
They're just doing their job.
they know I'm up. They know I'm up to no good. They know we're.
We're researching.
What did I just say? I'm up to no good.
No, we're not that.
They know we're
Researching.
They know we are not doing things that's, up to no good.
Yeah, it's
So
not bad. They
that's
know
what I'm
it.
trying to say. So I want to be able to do more work and stuff like, in mountains out west, in Blue Ridge area, and the Blue Ridge Mountains is a big area. Don't think you know something in particular,
I
but
don't know. Maybe it would be nice. Maybe to hear from some of our viewers if they think, that could be a good idea. We don't want to be scrutinized. We're not giving up on the swamp. We're just.
I got a question to ask people. Would you put a backpack on and would you just, follow us into the woods at nighttime? And you only know us through YouTube. Would you do something like that?
Are you talking about the swamp or another area?
Mountains.
The mountains.
I'm very apprehensive about taking people into the swamp.
I am too.
We've
We've
taken media out there and we've ran up on moccasins and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
and
alligators.
Yeah.
And
this fire is freaking hot.
so I don't know. We'd like to hear from our viewers. What do y'all think?
I actually,
See what.
So
they
what do
say.
you think?
So what was it you was wanting?
It's just so we can investigate what.
Rod-
they're trying-
yes.
Everybody else is seeing where
Well,
So
they're
everybody
basically,
else
this
is
has been a crazy year, and who knows? People was probably walking around because of COVID, and they
Yes.
went out in the woods or they went
Yes.
and
People
walked
are hiking
somewhere.
more,
And
they're at
did
home.
they have an encounter, something interested for us, an area to explore that is not the swamp?
Exactly.
Tell us where those areas are, and maybe we'll
Maybe that's
You-
an idea that we need to start looking
into, right.
That's all she's trying to say. Instead of isolating the trail to Bigfoot to one
Just the
particular
swamp.
area,
Yeah.
like the
Could be-
swamp,
You could be.
maybe we need to start venturing out.
Wherever.
Anybody that has any kind of encounter, and you know, to let us know what you've seen, what you witnessed, what you've heard, and maybe this is the route that we need to take. We've been geared to the swamp for so long, and we've got so many stories about the swamp. Well, maybe that's not what we're supposed to do. Maybe we're supposed to come to you. And
Yeah, I'm kind of, truthfully, we hit that swamp hard, man. Just over and over and over. We hit that swamp hard over and over and over again, immediately after work, many times.
many times.
And we was able to bring back a lot of phenomenal stuff, And
There's been times.
I really appreciate the comments I've read from people about some of the stuff that was able to film, record, show, teach. Some people say, "Hey, you're a great teacher, Chris. Don't stop, teach." And kind of comes from my Army days, I guess. But I don't mind. I don't mind continuing the journey and making videos and showing people what's going on out there in the forest and the wilderness there. That's cool. I like that stuff. But I like that stuff, but I just don't want stuff following my house.
Well,
Okay?
And I like. We had so many small kids come to our town hall.
Ooh, that fire is getting stoked.
Yes, it is. We had a lot of kids come to our town hall, and I've always wanted to be a teacher, and it never happened. I never pursued it. So when I see the small kids come to our town hall, and they're so fascinated with what's going on, they have their own story to tell. I like to pursue those avenues because it was.
What, kids?
Hey, honey, you and me saw one as a kid.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind hearing what the kid. I don't mind talking to anyone about anything that they said that they saw, but I don't really want to encourage kids.
What, to
maybe
tell
you're not,
their story?
No, I don't want to really. Maybe I don't want to encourage kids to be doing this stuff this young, man. I mean,
It's on you, baby.
It's on you.
No, my thing is.
I know that's not what you're saying,
No,
but
that is not what I'm saying.
but I
don't. There was a little
I don't want to
girl.
be bringing kids along on this
There was
stuff.
a little girl at our town hall, and she was so afraid to tell me something. She had a story, and her name was Paige. I don't want kids to be afraid to say something like you and I were, and you know it. We never discussed it again after we saw what we.
No, we kept quiet
We
about
kept
it.
quiet. We
Didn't
were
never tell-
afraid.
Didn't never tell hardly anybody.
So-
our dad told us that if he ever caught us back out in that area again, he'd
Beat our honey.
beat our what.
So
And, that's how it is. That's how it was down in
We
the South
didn't
in the
go.
old days. You
All
got
I'm
it. You got it with a belt.
So all I'm saying is that we don't know where this is now taking us. This is going to be a different journey for us, and we'd like to hear from y'all.
Around when you smell some
Yeah.
So honey.
Boston butt smoking away.
Okay, so honey, tell the viewers
Do I believe in UFOs?
how